Welcome all. My name is Coach Dana, and today I have a special guest with me named Rachelle.
Everyone.
Now, Rachelle is like a sister to me, and she also serves as accountability partner, which I recommend everyone have. Even at least have one, but if you may have multiple accountability partners in your life in different areas. And so one thing that we kind of share in the accountability is we hold each other accountable in single life and in dating, but we also hold each other accountable in different areas. Like she helps me with finance and budgeting because she has a lot more wisdom in that area than I do. And that's the place that I struggle. And then on the other side of things, I hold her accountable in some of the things in regarding health and wellness.
Yes.
And so today I brought her on so we can have a conversation just about food and about our relationships with food. And these are some of the things and some of the conversations that we've had just over the years about that area. So just welcome to the conversation, and I hope that it's beneficial, and I hope that it blesses you. So I would say when I think about food, I think of it almost as like a neutral thing.
Okay.
Almost like how people think about money, how they say money is like, it's not a bad thing.
Not good or bad, yeah.
It's whose hand it's in and what they do with it. So I think about food in that way, in that it depends on, food is neither bad nor good. It depends on what we do with it in our hands, how we prepare it. Okay. When man gets a hold of it, what we add to it.
Yeah. 100%.
And also our behaviors around it. Our behaviors and our practices and things like that. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I read somewhere that food is good medicine and bad medicine.
Yes. 100% agree.
So, right. 100% agree. So, I wanted to discuss that because that generally is, to me, one of the things that people struggle with the most. And when I'm having conversations with people, it's, they may be able to show up for the workout. And a lot of people have the ability and can do that part. But it's when we're in the kitchen, it's when we're at home, it's when we're in our alone spaces that we have those struggle with food. And some people are mindful of some of the issues or relationship they have with the food, and some people are not so much.
Yeah, it's like what does someone say? Like, you can't outrun a bad diet or something like that.
Exactly.
So it's just like, I think that the 80-20 rule, like, still working out is necessary so you can have like muscles and so you can be healthy. But I didn't realize how important food was to everything in health, because I think sometimes we think about, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. It's really about physique and how you look all the time, but you don't think about mental health or sleeping. You don't think about the headaches. You don't think about being in a brain fog. You don't think about how it affects your tiredness throughout the day of what you eat. So I think that broader understanding of food, maybe like learning that last year, I think was super helpful. But when no one really sits you down all the time. Some people did have that with their parents if they were like really good at that. But yeah, I grew up in a Caribbean household, so a little different. You kind of eat what's in front of you.
Kind of thing. And we're gonna talk about that. That's a great segue to tell me, what were your first lessons about food?
Okay, so for me as a kid, so I grew up in a Haitian household, and so I remember always like squirming because I didn't want to eat all the food. My mom was like, "You have to eat all the food," and in Haitian culture, they don't give you the whole portion size. It's like American plus sometimes. You know what I mean? It's a huge,
so an oversized plate.
Yeah, it's like rice and beans and bean sauce and something else, corn and whatever, and meat. So it's like, it's very heavy. And so that was probably my hardest thing, was like just waiting on the table long enough, because sometimes I just want to leave and I didn't want to eat it all, or I had to eat it all. So that's probably one of my the thing I think about first is you were forced, like you had to eat more. It wasn't about, oh, you're full now, you're good. It's more about, you just have to finish the whole thing right now.
So it wasn't about cues or listening to your body. It's about, I prepared something, you're going to eat whatever's on
the plate, whether I like it or not, whether I think it affects me or not. Which I think as a kid, I was seen as a picky eater. My mom was like, "You're such a picky eater," and I think the reason was because some of the food was bothering me. I know that now after realizing, like, I had really bad headaches as a kid. There were really things that I had a lot of mucus congestion, and I realized for me that that's connected to food, but I had no idea. And as a kid, how do you know? I didn't know that either. So I was really picky. I didn't know that's why I was being picky about food, was because it was bothering me. So I think,
Interesting.
which is interesting, but I couldn't fully do anything about it at that time.
You couldn't articulate it.
It.
And then as kids, we're not doing the shopping.
No,
we're not
you're not making
cooking.
decisions like that
Right,
at the home.
right.
So it's like, at the point where you're not making decisions, you just kind of have to do what you're told to do. And I did run away from some stuff. They didn't let me do all the things, but it's just, yeah, you eat what's in front of you. And that definitely did inform what, like, where some people had a line of where, okay, that's enough. It's like, you just are supposed to eat everything. And American portions are large. So you're not thinking, I'll eat half this sandwich now, or I'll eat, like, it was weird even going to my first, like, sleepover was at this Christian group thing, and they had like rice. No, they had, the main dish was just chicken and salad. And I was like, where's the rice? Because it was so weird not having rice. Rice
where the
was
carbs at?
essential to Haitian culture, Caribbean culture, most whatever. It was like, these people are weird. They don't even like salad and chicken. Like, I remember being shocked. And I was in middle school. I was like, this is insane. Like, it just didn't seem like it was enough food.
Right.
Because I'm used to enough is that large plate kind of thing in Asian culture. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. The first time you eat one way in your household, and then when you go out in the world and say,
this is
awesome. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of similar. I have a similar sort of first lessons about food.
Okay.
Of course, the plate was fixed for me, and that was, you were to eat everything that was there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which was not my problem as a kid.
Okay.
My problem was my mother cooked healthy. She really cooked healthy for back in the 80s. She had the Betty Crocker recipe. She did stir fry. She didn't fry. Okay. We had limited sugar. Okay. I was exposed to a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that. So it was a pretty healthy household. My dad was a marathon runner, so we kind of went with whatever he was on. So when he decided no salt for the household, none of us had salt. We all had Mrs. Dash. I learned about Mrs. Dash very early on. He decided he was only going to eat turkey. The whole household had to only eat turkey. Oh, wow. Okay. But my thing was, I had a love for food, so I would want to eat a second plate and a third plate, and no one stopped me.
Just let you go. Yeah.
Right.
They're like, oh, okay, she's just hungry. So
yeah, you're just hungry. The only way I would stop is if I was eating then my father's plate. Like, if food set aside for him, I would go in the refrigerator and eat that as well. And I would chip away at the food that was set aside.
Did you get in trouble for
him? Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's crazy.
Trouble for that. I would, but it was worth it for me because I felt like what they gave me was not enough.
Interesting.
So I think a lot of binging or and secret eating was my first introduction. It was some of my first, not parent taught lessons, but it's like, oh, okay, I can't, you all aren't getting me enough, but I'm going to find a way to sneak into the kitchen, eat under the foil. And then by the time my dad got a plate, it's like, this is all the only serving I got. And I'm like, no, you have more to start. But yeah.
What's interesting about this though is the fact that, okay, the bad side of this, I could see why you're so disciplined now, because just like you said, your dad, he cut stuff out. Mm-hmm. So you're used to in your family living with, okay, well, we're cutting out turkey. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is. Because as a kid, you can't. So I could see in you now, though, you can easily cut things out. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, well, this is crazy. You know what I mean? But you're just like, so you just said a couple of things with your dad. Like, okay, we took out turkey. So the whole, we're not eating salt. We're not. So like for you, I think, even though that's like that was kind of a positive. It did. That part. I know that's weird.
We're shifting the diet.
Yeah, we're shifting the diet.
You have to go with the flow.
You're able to like, oh, I've done this. I don't know if that, maybe you never connected that, but in my mind I was like, oh, that makes sense actually.
No, it's interesting. I've never connected that. It was forced upon me.
It was forced
as a child because of the household. Yeah. But I think I love food. So it didn't matter. Some people say, oh, Dad, you eat this food and it's healthy food. It's not gross. No, I just like food.
Yeah. It's just
so it wasn't so much so it's so hard it's not the food, it's the amount.
Yeah, the amount of food. Okay,
I need it all. So how do you feel like you see some of these, or do you see some of these things show up in your adult life?
Yeah, for sure. I think the other part I would say is like okay, this is kind of interesting. I didn't share, but like the snacking part. So like in Haitian culture, there was no snacks.
Oh, okay.
Like you literally had no snacks. And so you had like a big meal
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 times a day, and that was
Okay.
it. So the bad part about that is that when you finally go out on your own and you can buy snacks, you kind of go crazy. So because you're just like, you know, I remember, I didn't think about this until now, but like I remember when I was a kid and I went to my friend's pantry, and it was like Rice Krispies, zebra cakes. I was losing my mind. My mom bought some stuff, but for the most part, Haitian food, you have some carbs with rice, but it was mostly healthy. But you had to cook it, so we didn't have. So like anytime I had a chance to get like a sweet treat, like we'd finish cereal so quick, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that was our snack. We didn't really have snacks unless someone came
Americanized
over.
package.
Yes, stuff we didn't have that. You were eating rice and meat, and if you're hungry, there you're gonna get a leftover. Yeah, you're gonna get a leftover thing. So I think when I became an adult and I had the opportunity to get myself snacks, now I'm going like a little bit crazy. And then like I was not taught like what to eat in certain things. So like last year when I really started like getting healthier, figuring all these health issues were coming up. You know, I remember talking to you about it. You're like, that's a fat on a fat on a fat, and I'm like, girl, I'm eating a sandwich. Like, what you want me to eat? Like, I don't, you know. So I think I see like there was a lot of unhealthy habits of like definitely the how much, definitely a lot of emotional eating. It became a comfort for me, especially that I have snacks and all this stuff. Like sometimes I would just go to the fridge to just I'm looking for something, and it wasn't the food. It was just like, okay, I need to comfort, and then I would overeat, or I would like, for example, like in Haitian culture, you don't. It's weird. You don't eat like small things. Again, you eat like a lot of large meals. So I realized I would go without eating for like hours. Then when I would eat, I would overeat because it would be like 5-6 hours, and I would feel fine until I put something in my mouth. Now I'm voracious. I'm a monster. I'm like what? And I feel like, well, because I haven't eaten for 2 meals or whatever, I'm allowed to eat that whatever. And then I overdo it. So that was another thing I realized. Like, oh, like we were not in Asian culture. Eating not for a lot of hours, it was just like kind of normal, and then you just ate when it was because it took a long time sometimes to cook food. So we ate, but we ate a lot of food by then. But like I realized that was not as normal. Like a lot of people had smaller meals, and so I would wait too long in between sometimes to eat, and then I would eat too much because I was starving, which was not good. So,
but the culture of the thing, you note that like it took a long time to prepare the food.
It took a long time to prepare the food. Yeah, that's the reason why. Because it was real food. Like it was meat. It wasn't prepared. It wasn't fast. It wasn't convenient. It was cooked food. So overall, Asian food is pretty good. There are a couple of things like it's the excess maybe of the amounts of the food that you're gonna eat, but for the most part, it's pretty good. But yeah, it's just the excess amounts and the time. So I think for me as an adult, as an adapted that, I don't cook as much Asian food, which is kind of sad. I have my one favorite dish, which is macaroni and cheese, which is probably not the healthiest. To be fair, so once a year. But anyway, Thanksgiving. Yeah, but like, yeah, those are some of the habits I think I picked up, like waiting too long to eat, eating too much, not knowing what to eat. So I think eating like just a ton of pasta. Like I didn't have like food groups, you know. Like I knew meat and rice probably was. That's just how I grew up, and I probably should have a green because they say your plate should be colorful, like or you should have something that changes like differentiation. But like portion wise, or am I getting enough whatever? I knew I was not getting enough veggies. I knew I was not getting enough whatever, but I don't know. It just didn't click to do all those things. So I would say those were a lot of my issues with eating over the past, and then it was only like I had a big learning. I know we chatted when I asked for you to give me a meal plan and like track macros. I didn't even know what macros were. I didn't even know like, you know, you were saying like, okay, the cheese, the avocado, the mayo, like that's all fat. I'm like, girl, I don't even know. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like
I can't have cheese, avocado, and mayo. All of my food,
I didn't. Because I would just put whatever's in my fridge. Like I just, you know, the sandwich. You know, you just I got this. I'm gonna use it. I'm kind of one of those. Put everything as much as you can in one thing, and I'll, you know. So that changed a lot. Doing that meal plan really helped me understand. Oh, just eating a lot, and I was eating sometimes a lot more of things. It's not that I couldn't have eaten. I could actually eat a lot, but if I eat a lot of good stuff. So I think that's the thing. I didn't know what was good, what was not.
So. And you're not alone. I think even, you know, speaking of growing up in America, I don't recall these lessons. I don't recall being sit down as a child and saying, okay, this is why you're eating meat. Or this is why you eat vegetables, and this is what this is, and this is what it does for you. You know, I feel like you grow up with the messaging of this is bad,
Mm-hmm.
this is good.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation as to why.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have the chips, you can't have the candy
Mm.
bar, but why? It's sugar. Okay, well,
Sugar's
why?
bad.
No one's
Sugar's bad.
why is sugar bad?
Yeah.
Why can't I have sugar? Or
exactly.
You know, just kind of not explaining those things. So then you grow up with just pieces of messaging, like you said. Well, I know I'm supposed to have a vegetable.
Yeah.
You know, we pick that.
It's
pick
supposed
that
to be
up
diverse.
somewhere.
It's supposed to be a colorful plate. Like
Right.
there's these like general messages, right? Like on the boxes of cereal, or like your teacher says a thing, or they had a healthy challenge, or whatever. But it's not like a full like, okay, practically here's how you're supposed to eat. Like especially if you're coming from all these different cultures, like you know.
And even the commercials that we get,
Yes.
how the campaign for milk went so strong.
Oh my
that
gosh, yeah.
we
Milk
got
is gonna
older and
help
you're
our
like,
bones.
I can't. Maybe I don't like milk. No, you gotta have it because you won't have strong
your
bones.
bones are gonna break or something.
Okay, so these are, we don't even realize sometimes where we pick up these
So
messages
true.
about food. And I think that's a whole nother conversation. But it's so important that children have some type of basic introductory education about food, and more so what the purpose of it behind that is, because we grow up and we're not even knowing.
We don't know, and we're especially adults. You're supposed to know, right? There can even be a shame of like, well, I don't know. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's what was surprising last year is like when we were going, like when you gave me that meal plan and how much, like it was like, I really didn't know what this was, like that this was a fat specifically. I've heard of fats, I've heard of protein, makes sense, you know what I mean? But like, I didn't know so many things I was like, oh, who knew? Like I didn't know. And that, I think that could be humbling or even scary for people, because it's like, oh, you're, you know, in your 30s, you don't know. You don't know what this is, or you don't know how to eat, or everyone says they know, but I think practically we don't know, because then why wouldn't we do it? You know what I mean? I think there's one thing, it is one thing to know something, but then another thing to apply it. But I do think there is a line of like education that, oh, like it's a light bulb. And for me, that's what it was. Like, it was just like lack of education. Oh, now I get it. I get it. And I can even, now I can self-correct. Like, okay, maybe I overdid it that week. Okay, let me pull back a little bit. Like, you're able to, you actually have more freedom understanding how it works, how food works, how it affects how the food specifically works for your body. So like that. It's kind of it's more freedom than you think it is.
It's more freedom. I'm glad that you
a little bit
come around.
Annoying sometimes. Don't get me wrong.
The freedom about it, the piece of it. But let's talk about one thing you said that stood out to me is opening the cupboards and looking for something.
Yes, just for something, just to it.
Tell me more about the emotions or feelings when you say that, because to me it's like looking for something. Well, what are you looking for? When you're opening up those cabinets.
It's a really good question, because I feel like I realized I was doing this truly when I started fasting. So there was a time I was fasting from food, and that was a new thing to me, to just do water fast starting last year. And so I remember the first time I did a water fast 3 days, I went to the fridge like 15 times. Like, it was so often. Sometimes it was not because I was hungry. I was fine. And I didn't understand I'm like, why do I know I'm not eating. There's nothing in the food for me.
It's so what's for me
going on? And I think for me, like oftentimes, like, you know, if I'm really stressed, and with when I moved, started my new job, moved to Detroit, I traveled a lot. I didn't have time to eat. And sometimes I was just stressed. So to sit down and cook something, I don't want to do that. I was too stressed. I was too tired or whatever. So I'm going to grab something to eat. And at the time, I didn't. I'm just getting whatever I like. I'm getting fries. I'm getting chicken. I'm getting fried stuff. I'm getting whatever. Not necessarily like, I don't have the knowledge. Like now if I go out to eat, I know what I could get out to eat that's okay, right? And I know things that I'm like, okay, this is on the line, but you know, that's fries. That's my thing. I'm a swing it, you know? But like at the time I did it. And so I think when I was stressed a lot, I would eat. But I didn't know what to do next. Or sometimes when you're just bored. I think there was sometimes just boredom. And I think sometimes the food noise, like I realized, I think with fasting for me, that the beautiful thing about fasting that has helped me is like, it's made me realize, oh, you're not hungry for a lot of those things. You are just filling a space. Or food, it's a nice thing for your brain. Like there's, I don't know, oxytocins or things go off, like endorphins. So you have a pleasant feeling eating something that you like. It immediately gives you happiness, or a little bit of happiness and joy. So that's why people do it. And so I think that a lot of times when I was going in the fridge, I didn't know all the time why. I think fasting has given me a clearer mind of like, oh, I'm avoiding things.
Yeah.
I'm stressed and I don't know what to do. I want to feel better and I don't right now. And or I'm tired after work and I just need to whatever. So like yes, there were certain times where I was hungry, but there were other times where I was just either bored or just allowing food to regulate myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think those are the
That's so
reasons.
good. The fasting takes that I can't use food to feel that now.
Yeah. So what is it?
So now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I have to sit with that thing.
Yeah.
Because I can't. Because you're right. I mean, food gives us happy feelings.
Yeah. It's comforting.
It's used for so many things. We use it socially and all
Mm-hmm.
how we engage with one another. We use it in times of depression. We use it when we're happy and we're sad.
Both. Yeah.
It's one of those
100%.
things. It's like I always say I could see 5 people sitting at the kitchen table eating, and they could all be overindulging, and they're all of different sizes. You could have the smaller or the bigger. They're all overindulging. But in order for me to help one particular person or another, I need to know the why
are you overindulging
behind
100%.
there. They all have the same behavior. We're all sometimes doing the same behavior, whether it's we're not eating or whether it's we're binging and we're overeating. But what's the why? One person may be, okay, they're struggling with grief. One person's eating because they're happy and they want to celebrate themselves.
Yes.
These rewards. We want to reward ourselves. 100%. One person eats because they're sad and they want to console themselves. So, we need to know the why behind it to be able to dig a little deeper and say, okay, how can we assist with why we keep these patterns of behavior?
100%.
So, yeah.
It's helpful, and I think that's good to know. I think that's like the thing that has been like since that fast is like you're not hungry for food. What are you hungry for? Like what are you looking for? Like there's something that's like, why did I go to the fridge like 15 times that day? Like it was just like I don't know. It just was a norm, and so I think that digging deeper to the what is your why? Like why are you doing that? It kind of helps. It helps a lot, and like knowing that food could be again, like it's a neutral thing, but it can be a good thing. It could be associated with not positive, not that like, because I think a lot of times when you think about like diet culture, when you think about, okay, I got to lose weight, I think it was always about, for me, the weight. Like when I gained weight after grad school, I was like, okay, I just got to lose the weight. But then when I lose the weight, I stopped paying attention to eating well. It was not about eating well. It's not about, it was about looking or just shedding that weight. So then it's you have an up and down. You don't have a lifestyle change. You don't have anything that fully transforms the way that you do it for a long time. Because if it's just about how I look, if I'm happy with how I look,
then why change it?
Then I'm. That's what I realized. Like I'm okay at the way that I am. I want more muscle tone. Okay, so that's a gym thing, but still, the types of food I eat, you could be skinny and have a heart attack. You could be skinny, and there's a lot of like things around like, oh well, you're skinny, so you're fine. But there's a lot of people who are skinny have diabetes. A lot of people have skinny have all these issues and things, or they're not fit or whatever. All these things. So I think that there's a deeper. I wish we'd go into that more, like just the why of
the motivation
behind it, because I think that's why a lot of us are so up and down with our trying to eat healthy, because it's never something that's like long term. It's just for a short term thing. And like that's nice, but then when you gain the weight back, you're like, what happened? And it's like, no, it was literally your thing wasn't long. It wasn't large enough. It wasn't long term. It was.
You have to check
term.
your why.
Check your why.
Check your why behind what you're doing. Really and good. A lot of times, the first thing that gets people is aesthetics. It's like, I want to look a certain way. And if your why is aesthetics, that's going to definitely say that it's temporary. Because like you said, when I get to the goal, when I use food as a tool to get to the goal that I want, now I like the way that I look, we can throw the tools away because now I look the way I want.
But then exactly. But then you don't, you know what I mean? Like then you're not thinking of long term. And I realized that's what was happening. It was like, oh, I'm happy. I'm cool. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I gotta keep this up.
That's why sometimes like the revenge body doesn't work.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it's like, okay, I'm mad. He lost out. I'm going to use food as a tool to get to where I want to look, or the thing that would not have had this person to reject me, or would have had this person not look on Instagram at other girls or what have you. So I'm going to get that body, and then, okay, look at me. And then at the end of the day, maybe that person is still like, It doesn't make a difference. Or even, you find people do that. Married couples do that. Well, maybe my husband will look at me this way and things like that. So it's like, okay, I've gotten the look and this person's still not paying attention to me. And it goes, but I won't just say women, but women and men have this struggle. But it's like, once you get that, it's because the motivation was kind of empty.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It didn't have a real purpose
power
behind it. It didn't have staying power. I like that. So you want to take a look at that, because then you will revert back as soon as you either get the thing that you want, or you realize that, okay, I've gotten here and it doesn't get me the thing that I want. Okay, what do I do now? Throw the whole thing away.
Yeah.
But when your motivation is built more so on internal, like I like seeing people get to, okay, how do you want to feel on the inside? Yeah. You know what your body feels like functioning kind of normal. Without pain, 100%. Without digestive issues, without headaches, without brain fog. Do you know what that feels like?
Yeah.
Or you want to be able to play with your children, your grandchildren. Okay, these are things you want to be able to walk. You want to be able to do. You want to be able to enjoy when you travel, to be able to see and walk and see all these things. Like, what is the true why? Because I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to look good. Yeah, we all want
it's still a good motivation. I don't think it can't be the only motivation, is what I realize. If it's the only thing, then I'm gonna always stop when I reach my whatever weight or whatever. Or if I'm like, and I think that's what's been super interesting, because I'm like, oh, I'm pretty happy. I'm happy, with what I look like. Cool. But I'm like, no, but what's my long term? What do I want to keep doing? And so it's been, I think, from my why has just evolved a lot. I think now it's like, well, I'm toying with this. I don't want to tell you this because you'll be like, we can get you there. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. What are we thinking about? I was like, okay, like I saw myself being really consistent, and like I kind of fell through with some stuff. So I'm trying to get back to consistency. I know what my body can do. I know it can get to it. Like, I can see the muscles grow, and I'm like, okay, what is the best though? Like, if I push myself, as you say, if I really actually push myself, like, what could the best body of me look like? And there's a part of me that wants to see that. I may not live there forever, because I'm like, I may not want to always keep it up like this, but like, there's a part of me that wants to just see what the best is. Be like, okay, do I want to stay there? Do I want to scale it back at like a 2/3? And I think the other part is, so that's been one of my thoughts lately. And then my recent one is more like, how can I, like, because I've changed so much of my diet, like I've taken stuff, I'm like kind of gluten-free, low sugar, like with PCOS or stuff, that works best with me is what I've seen. So now it's like, okay, how do I sustainably do this? Because I struggle with accepting it. I think that's been my biggest thing, is accepting my body works better this way. And it has, because like, it's not only just like, okay, I'm smaller naturally because I'm not eating as much carbs or whatever, or sugar, but it's like, I don't have as many headaches. I tend to get sick if I eat not great. My menstrual cycle is regulated, right? Like, which it has never regulated until last year, which is crazy. So for reasons like that, like, that's like, okay, when I have a kid and I want it to be easy, I've got to eat really well. You know what I mean? Because it's my period's finally regulated. Or like, I don't want headaches. I get a lot of headaches, or I get super, super tired. Or I could feel things now because I'm much more sensitive because I've been like trying things a lot with my body. Like, I'll take something away, I'll eat something. So now I know, I'm like, okay, those things make me feel this way. It's just hard to accept, because it's like, well, that person's eating sugar and cake. Why can't I have the cake? And for me, it's not like, because I tell people too, my other struggle is like, I've told people, yeah, I'm kind of like gluten-free, and they think I'm doing it because I'm doing a diet. Like, they think it's like, oh girl, come on, like, let yourself. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, the consequences are dire for me. It's not for you, but like, my throat can hurt, or I'll get a headache, or, I'll get sick or whatever. So like, it's different, and trying and having to accept that and not let people's opinions sway, because I'll be like, you know what, she's right. I can eat sugar. Right. And then I'm in pain later, and I'm like, babe, this is you. Like, it's not about what someone says. And it's not truly just a diet for me. This is how I operate in a better lifestyle. This is my lifestyle operate. And so there's one thing of just accepting it, one thing of just being okay when people have just a different opinion, or they think you're just doing this because you are doing these crazy diets of taking. I'm like, no. Like, I've just, this is over a year and a half now. I've seen how my body operates. And this is how it works now optimally. And I know at least maybe not the best yet. I'm still getting there, but the better.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that we kind of talked about this a little bit before, and how you said it's not dire for them. No, it's dire for them too. But the difference is you have come to an awareness to know that these things affect my body a certain way. I have seen the effects, and if I eat this, how my body feels. If I eat this way, how my body feels. Yeah. So you're mindful at this point to be able to say, no, this is not going to benefit me. Yeah. Where they're like, it's not going to hurt you. You're okay. Yeah. No, these things are, a lot of these things, these additives, things, a lot of these things are like poison. Yeah. So it's like, how much poison are you okay with putting in your body? A little or a ton? And it's extreme to say, that things are poison, but a lot of the things that we consume, we see the result 100%. Of it. It literally is like we're just putting toxins and crap and things in our body and seeing these chronic diseases and these things come up, and our body is completely inflamed. And no one due tells to what we're eating. Yeah. No. And then no one tells you can even fix it with food. Like how, like, I think that's the thing that for me is shocking. Like, I didn't think food is that powerful. You're telling me if I just eat differently, like so many people, and I'm passionate about this because, I was told I had PCOS probably in my 20s, early 20s. And when the doctor told me, he's like, well, listen, I don't want to scare you. It may be harder for you to have children. Not saying you can't, but he's like, he was very cautious of what you use. Yeah. But he's like, it might be harder for you because you don't ovulate every month. So now I'm like, okay, so I have this in the back of my head. Birth control, they're like, this is to get a period. Let me give you some birth control. I'm not against birth control. It's fine. And it does help a lot of people. But it never, if I would have to be on birth control forever. It would never get to the target. And for me, my periods would be like, I could have 3 a year. I could have one for a month and a half, like a period for a month and a half. It was just very random. And that was something that worried me. And like after like last year, that one of the biggest benefits, even though it's annoying, they are a sign of health for your body. So like when my period came back, started back after a fast, and then ever since then, it's been coming back like clockwork. And I'm 33 years old and I've never had my period regulated. No doctor has ever told me this. Some of them have told me to lose weight, but it wasn't the weight. It was the type of food. I was skinnier. I was lose weight a variety of ways.
No, I'm saying, and I was like 15 pounds lighter in grad school. I had been 185 for a couple of years. I'm 200 now and I'm having my period regularly. So it's not necessarily just lose weight. Right. It's the type of foods that were affecting my hormones that were not allowing me the excess sugar. I have insulin. If you're PCOS, usually you're insulin resistance. So like sugar really weighs on me heavier probably than other people. So it's just like, I didn't know, like, and I never wanted to I didn't like taking birth control. It's just, I don't like taking medicine in general. Yeah. Like, so the fact that I changed the way that I ate and it gave me my period back. That's crazy. And I think a lot of people who are struggling with like PCOS, not everyone, I get that there's complex things around it, but the fact that you can change your eating and it could change that, like, and that's one of many other things, many benefits. That's like crazy. And no one's talking about that. Everyone's like, okay, you just need to lose weight. Okay, I did. And then nothing changed. I'm still not having it for 3 months. What's the, so.
But you decided to be an advocate for your own health. And I think that's important for people. It's like, you have doctors and you listen to them and you of course, take in what they're saying, take in what they're, when they take the test and they say, okay, we feel like you have this thing or another thing, but also do your own research, look into different things. So many things are connected to diet. Like, oh my gosh, so many things are connected to
how
diet.
Much are connected to diet.
Yeah.
Headaches. That's what I realized is like, you'd give me a protein goal and this is lofty for me.
It's always, everybody always says it's lofty.
150. It was 150. Yeah, it was 150. I was like 150. Like, I clearly didn't eat meat as much as I think, and I love meat. I thought I ate a ton. I was barely scratching the hundreds, not even the hundreds. So when you had told me, I realized my headaches went away. Oh, I was having like debilitating headaches right before, I think it was like climbing up to really bad around 2023. And I didn't know why I was getting scared. I was like, oh, like to the point where I just couldn't work. I would have to like take a pause. I'm like, okay, I'm really bothered. Literally, I ate the right amount of protein. I ate the right food. I was eating whole foods, like predominantly on your thing. And so my headaches went away. And that's when I realized that shift. My headaches just stopped. I didn't even remember having headaches. And I was like, wait a minute, this is connected to food? Like, I didn't know that. Like, I had no idea. Or just like, I realized when I ate like certain things, like if I ate like a ton of rice, I'd get super exhausted. Like I'd get like a train wreck exhausted. I'm like, what the heck is happening? Like,
yeah.
So just like stuff like that I'm like, you just don't know how much it's influencing your body sometimes until you take it out or you change something, or even just like, oh, like my like bowels regular, all these things that are just
all
like,
these things that would be
it's
lovely to have a
simple,
life where
like,
your body functions
just
the way that it's
normal.
supposed
Like,
to.
yeah, it's just normal.
Right,
And like,
right.
it's true. Like, I think what made me take it into my hands, like, okay, I need to try this research, was the doctors end of 2023, I was eating stuff, and beginning of 2024, I was eating things and it was hurting my throat. No doctor could tell me any reason. Like, I was eating different foods randomly, and it would like felt like it got inflamed. They checked my throat, nothing was inflamed. My thyroid was fine, everything. And like, I'm like, so I'm good. Like,
right.
Like there's no test showing anything, and so it's nothing. To a doctor,
right.
If there's nothing to see on a test that's negative, there is
you're
nothing.
Okay.
You're fine. You're not diseased enough for me to give you anything or to help you. And so I think that was really eye-opening, because it's like, if I have something, then you'll give me medication for it. If I don't have anything that's clearly seen on a report or something, I'm technically fine. Even if I'm not experiencing fine, that's when you just get to a point of like, you're so upset. Like, I was so upset.
Frustrated.
I've been going to the doctor for months to figure out. I did realize some of my vocal cords were not okay. Still doesn't explain why eating random foods. No one's there's at least I haven't seen a study connected to vocal cords and food. I know when you sing, there's certain foods you can't eat, but like, it was sometimes random stuff that didn't make sense. I didn't know what was even in them to make this happen to me. So trying all these like candida diet and all that stuff made me realize there was a lot of excess yeast or things from sugar from things I was eating. So yeah, it's really empowering. I think you just get frustrated. I think that's what got me to take it into my own hands. It's like, but to be fair, which I hope people can learn from this and not have to get to that point. But I feel like if I wasn't sick, if I didn't feel such pain, would I have been more as serious? And that led me down this health journey, right? It led me down like, okay, oh, I see. This is a food thing. This is this. I'm eating too much of this. It's affecting everything. I didn't realize. And so I was like, oh, I can live a way better life.
Yeah,
this.
The wisdom that I hope for others and people that will watch this video and people that are out there, that is that you take care of, or you're mindful of what you consume while you're still feeling good.
Yeah.
You don't wait till you get to the point that like something is the matter. You know, you don't wait till the alarm. Your body is setting off 20 million alarms, because that's the symptoms. It's telling you something's not right here. Please look into this, change this. Something's not right. And I think sometimes the sentiment for people is that I feel good, so what I eat is okay.
Exactly. And
that's no.
Yeah. You don't realize that it's over the course of time, based on what you eat, you're building up some disease and you don't know. And I never thought of it like that. I think of it like that now, because what happened in 23 was just years of me eating not good. My immune system was not in a good place. And I probably should have noticed, because I would get yeast infections randomly, all the time, actually, quite often. And I wouldn't have my period a lot. I would get headaches, but sometimes you're not connecting. All those things are connected to a thing that your body's off. Your body's off. You get used to things in like, I feel like, especially in the States, like, oh, that's normal. Like, it is what it is. Like, or, okay, I feel this way after I eat this thing, I'll just take this medicine to feel better. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, but we do.
Instead of eating a certain kind of way, because sometimes that's the harder thing.
It is.
And you talked about that, like, it's the challenge in restricting yourself, or the idea. And you know, we've talked about this before, but it's a mindset shift, I think. Instead of focusing on what I cannot eat, focusing on what I can eat, and the benefits of that. Because a lot of times I think about scripture, and I think about the Bible, and how there were certain times that God, his people, he's like, you can't eat that. You can't do that. You can't. You guys don't eat the foods they eat. You eat these foods. Or, you know, it's just so many examples in the Bible, whether it's the Egyptians and the Israelites, or whether it's Daniel and friends. There's so many times that he's like, no, this is not what you're eating. You're eating this. And so I think there's times that we look at it and we say, well, why is God not letting me eat A, B, and C, or you know, just a lot of other areas in the world too. But why can't I do what everybody else is doing?
Pretty much
that thing. They're eating the fried chicken. They're eating the macaroni and cheese all the time. They're drinking the
Yeah.
pop. They're having the sugar in the cakes. Why can't I
just
eat the way they are eating?
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the good things he wants to keep with you.
Yeah.
Not the things he wants to keep away.
Yeah.
So that mindset shift has been probably beneficial. One of the most beneficials for me is that God wants to keep good health with me.
Yes.
You know, he wants to keep mobility with me. He wants to keep, you know, me disease free as possible, at least the ones that are preventable by food. He wants to keep those things with me. But in order for that to happen, I can't just do what I want to do and eat what I want to eat. There's a line. He says these are the things that, you know, okay, if you want to keep these things with you, this is the way to go about it. 100%. And not saying that, you know, God has this exact diet you're supposed to eat. You know what I'm saying? But it's in that way, I always say eat things as close to the source as possible. The original way that thing was made, or the original way that thing came from the ground, off the tree, or the way that animal walks around. You know, is it in a thing where they're force feeding it crap? You know, that's not the way that the animal is supposed to naturally be around. So the eating is close to the source, to me, is the most beneficial.
It is. And I think then it gives you freedom. I think for me, like when you realize, like, you flip the script of like, okay, what can I have? Because I remember when I was on this recent trip overseas, like I went to Athens and I was eating the bread. I'm kind of gluten-free-ish, but I hate saying that because I don't want to admit it fully that I am, but I kind of am.
Just want to toy around.
I want to just like toy around. But in my house, I don't have bread. I don't eat pasta. It's really not here, and I didn't realize how much I was adhering to it. So when I, you know, was on this trip, I did indulge a little bit more, right? So I didn't eat pasta, but I ate a lot of bread. They had bread at everything, and I ate sugar more so in a way that I haven't, right? So cakes and ice cream and stuff like that, and I was splitting it. But it was just that. But I did that over the course of 3 or 4 days, and my body, and I knew I was sick because of that. It wasn't a sickness. Like, my mom was with me and she didn't get sick. It was not we picked this up from something. Yeah, I knew it was food immediately. I even took a probiotic and it made me feel better. So I knew there was a lot of connected to what I was eating. But my mom was like, "What can you eat?" You know what I mean? Like, "Mom, I can't." She's like, "I don't know if you can eat this." She just could think of a salad. That's all that she kept saying. She's like, "It's just like a salad." Like, that's at least I know you can have that. You know what I mean? And I felt this. I at first I could have more than a salad, mom. I could have like rice. I could have this. I could have a lot of things. But I think that when you look at it from, well, if pasta and those are the normal things and bread, then you're like, okay, I feel like there's nothing I can eat. And for a long time, I did feel like that. I did feel like, okay, then what can I eat, Lord? Like, what am I eating? Because it was hard to.
Yeah, it was so hard many to figure things out. And like you say, when you look at the thing you can't have, it multiplies.
Yeah, it feels like a lot because like brain. You can't just pick up things. The things that are easy to get are usually the bad stuff, right? The processed food. I can get a snack, a chip, a bar, or whatever. It was interesting in Turkey. I remember looking for some chips, and I could not find any. They had peanuts, and they had like these like pretzel stick things, but they had. I mean, they had a lot of sweets. I will say they did have a lot of sweets. They were known for that, but like I did not see one of the gas stations. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It wasn't until I went to Athens I saw more of that. Okay. But like they had processed stuff, but it just wasn't chips. I just was kind of blown away by that. The whole food thing, I guess they cook more if they eat out. It's like more whole. So it was interesting to kind of see that overseas even too. So yeah, it's a struggle to accept. I think that's my thing, is like it's a struggle to accept that you need to eat differently, but it's not for a bad reason. It's for your health. And so I think when I got sick in overseas for that, and it was truly because of food, it was like, oh, you're more serious. I didn't realize how serious I actually was on this. Like in my mind, I like to play around like I'm gluten-free-ish is what I tell people. I'm like, oh, I can eat bread though. Like in my mind, I'm like, I can eat bread. I'm like, no, I've taken it out to a way where it isn't. And then again, I feel fine. Like I feel better anyways. And so it's just kind of like, oh, like I'm doing this, I guess. Like,
but I think that's good because thing. You got to see that I actually have established a pattern of behavior.
Yes, that my body is rejecting. I didn't think that I didn't think I was that serious.
And your body said, yes, you've been that serious. And what are you
and
doing?
we don't like it.
And
like,
we are revolting
insane.
right now.
Literally, like revolt.
Get it out. Get it out. What are we doing?
Yeah. And I
But
did
how many times do we push past that? And once you push past that, guess what becomes the new normal now?
It's that again, yeah. And it's just like,
yeah.
It's interesting because you don't see yourself sometimes when you do something so often. I didn't think I was at that level, and I didn't think I had been, but I do realize now, like, no, you've really been kind of more committed for me, for Rachelle.
Yeah.
This is probably the most committed I've been on anything. But I think part of it is what switched in my mind more so than in the past years is I know now how it affects my body. So I told people now I'm more sensitive to food. And it's not that I wasn't before, is I didn't know before. So like, you know, when I did the different fasting things, when I tried the Candida diet, and then you reintroduce food back, and I'm like, why did I have a headache after that? Why did my stomach hurt after that? Why do I feel like I have heartburn right after that? And I don't like those feelings. Then I'm like, oh. And I think
you're responsible for what you know, right?
Yeah,
you can't now take that out. So when you eat something and your body reacts a certain way or something happens, it's going to pop up in your mind. Like, was that connected to what I ate? What did I eat? That knowledge is now
it's in there. And that's what that's a common question I ask. If I do have a headache now, it's always what did I just eat? Because it's almost always connected for me anyways, as I've seen, to something I ate. Almost always. It's like, what did I just eat? What did I just digest? I was like, dang it, I didn't think that was gonna bother me. You know? Or I'm just like, interesting, you know what I mean? So it's just like that's been interesting because I don't really get the headaches. I never get them randomly. It's usually connected for me to food, and I think it's a powerful tool to know. You can control that. You can control, like, I don't have to have headaches all the time, which I did before. So
I think we pay attention to what we put into other things, like we can get it. That's why, you know, people might be sick of me using the car analogy, but I love to use that one all the time. Like, you immediately, if you put something in there you're not supposed to, sugar in the tank, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have a reaction. You know, so how do we feel like our bodies are any different? We've just shut off. We have check engine lights going on off all the time. You know, most people are walking around. I wish it could be some type of visual example that, like, people are walking around with 10 check engine lights, 10 lights just lit up like a Christmas tree.
And
you know, and we're just going about our day. It's what you're putting in your body or what you're not putting in your body. You know, a lot of times when I start with people with changing the way that they eat, I tell them to focus on adding things in rather than taking things out initially. And if you add in enough of the good things, you won't have as much room for the bad things. And it's a mindset thing that helps us. It's better for some people to say, oh, okay, well, I get to add in, I get to eat these things without me saying, you know, take everything out the table. I'm coming in there and eliminating your everything. Pantry and your refrigerator and saying, here. Most people are not going to be successful that way.
It's,
you know.
And I think the slow things I think understanding that things take time. I think, like, if you'd have told me that, like, I would have gotten rid of bread and pasta, boy, I would have laughed at you. Like, me, not me. Or sugar, like cakes. Like, I don't eat a lot of cake. I don't eat a lot of sweets. That is crazy for me. But it's just like, that has taken time. That's over like a year and a half. It's not like it was like, okay, in one moment I got it.
And that's your personal too. You know, our diets are not going to look the same.
And not everyone's like that. Because like, my thing is, if I could eat sugar as a little bit more often, but I say it anyways that, like, I ate all the sugar I could, and that's why.
Right, you
I ate all the sugar early. So all the
sugar cap. You know?
I met my cap early because I ate a lot.
And you know, it's just the diet is different. Like, you know, and what I mean is everybody should be eating, you know, healthy foods, whole foods and things like that. But certain things, like for me, having similar issues with candida and stuff like that, when I had all the antibiotics, it kind of gave me gut issues after I had my kidney removed. I had to be mindful of sugar and if I drink too much coffee, you know, certain things I know affect my stomach. So someone else could maybe go in their way and try to be a fruitarian and eat all the fruit that they can and things like that, and they'd be okay. My gut doesn't necessarily operate that way. And it's being mindful of it. You have the amount of sugar or fruit that you can eat. And so we're not even talking about a bad thing. Fruit is a great thing, you know, but it's everybody is still different in the way that they handle things. Meat is not bad.
Yeah, I love meat.
I prefer the way my body feels. Like you said, you love meat. I prefer to eat less meat. Because of how it makes me feel, and that doesn't mean it's going to do the same thing for you. So it's not like I said, food in that way, in its whole original source, is not a good or bad thing.
No, it's just whatever different. Works exactly. And I think that I feel that's one thing I'm happy that I have is like meat is on the table, because I thought for real, like I thought like, oh man, I gotta go like vegan or vegetarian. I mean, if I had to, I guess, but like I didn't.
Right, you're like, I don't want to get that.
No, because I thought about it, I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do. But that sometimes people think certain things are healthier, but it's like you can still eat a ton of flour and sugar and stuff on a vegan diet.
You could have a horrible vegan
you can have a horrible
because
diet
people don't realize when it comes to veganism, there's ethical vegans that are more so it's about the animals and the environment and all those things, and then you have people that choose that diet because they feel like it's a healthier way to eat. But just because I'm eating something without meat, exactly. There's a lot of heavily processed faux meats. Vegan products that are heavily processed. I mean, you can still eat all the sugar and all the carbs and all the things.
And I think that's what I'm surprised about. You think you see these things like vegan, organic, vegetarian, like whatever, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is like good. It's like, no, not really. Like, that doesn't automatically make it healthy just because it says that thing. But I think a lot of, marketing in America is amazing.
I was about to say, that's another thing. You know what I mean? So, to marketing.
I'm in marketing, and there is that ethical pool of like, people don't realize how much you could lie or sway people by saying certain things. It's not like, so I think people, it's just like, we need to be more mindful. Like you said, taking the ownership on ourselves. Like, for example, coconut water. Like, I'm thinking about, I was drinking the coconut water, and for real, I was feeling a little bit, I did see myself getting a little bit weight or whatever. But I didn't know. I was eating mostly good. Like, and so you're like, Rachelle, that thing has so much sugar in it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, because we have similar issues when it comes to sugar stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I read the back of it, and I usually do read the backs, but it was coconut water. I was not, clearly I wasn't for that.
You're like, it said water on it.
It's coconut water.
Like, you're not, coconut water is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I love coconut water.
Eat the jug.
But I ate the first one, and it had 40 grams of sugar per serving. Per serving. And I'm like, I drink the whole thing. So whatever serving it is, 2 or 3, I'm eating that times 3. 120 grams of sugar is crazy. Or
along with whatever else you're eating for the day. That's the thing. This is just, you're going to choose the 3 fats. It's like avocado, cheese. It may or may not be bad, but it's 3 of them. Okay, the coconut water is not bad, but we're going to have 120 grams of sugar.
And it's just like, I didn't, when you said that and I looked at it, I was like, oh, it stopped me immediately. And I just was like, it's because I was like, wait, like, I thought I was doing a good thing. It's coconut water. It's from the earth, right?
And that's a lot. And like you spoke to earlier, a lot of it is, just knowledge. How much knowledge is power. I had someone that they knew that seafood, or because they heard that fish was a good thing to eat. So they told me, well, I get a fillet of fish from McDonald's every day for lunch, So it's like, and like you said, sometimes people have guilt and shame about their lack of knowledge, and it's okay. We all continue to learn when it comes to food and things like that. I continue to learn more and more about food, but they had a good effort. The effort was, I'm trying to eat healthier.
I know seafood is good.
Right. So instead of the burger,
and that's okay. At least
I'm going to get the fish.
If you're going to get the fish.
But now this was the next step. Let's take you to the next step from that. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Version of that or something like that. Yeah. But it's like again, being in America, you're not really taught about food, or you do have little spurts. And so everyone can speak these, like, make your plate green and or make it colorful because you want different food groups. But from a practical perspective, people don't actually know. Right. And so when they're doing things, these thoughts are maybe random thoughts of what they picked up as a kid is informing it, but it's not like practical. Like, it's not like, it's
not the basic knowledge that you need about
it's not the enough knowledge, right? Like you said, like, he was doing a good thing. Like, he swapped out, okay, I'm gonna get this instead of this. This is better for you.
I think we still, even as a health coach, people may think, okay, you don't have issues or you don't have any problems when it comes to food, and I do. I do still have struggles with food, and that one does come from childhood of the, overeating. If there's one thing I'm going to do, it will be a binge,
Yeah.
So I can be disciplined. I may be extremely disciplined. I can be extremely disciplined for months and not have an issue. But when I do have a challenge or something that comes up with food, and maybe it's a time that I'm trying to think of what my messages is not necessarily always emotional eating. So I don't do a lot of direct emotional eating because I know when I eat the bad thing, after I eat it, I'll deal with more guilt and shame about what I ate, which could spiral you down to eat bad again. Yeah. So instead, I kind of have learned to work through that thing, whatever the emotion is, whatever the bad emotion is. I'm like, if I eat bad, then I'm going to feel worse the next day. And I'm going to deal with the guilt and shame of doing that. But what I'll do is when I finally feel like, okay, well, you know what? I want to eat something. I want some fries or something like that. Or I want something. So I'm going to have it. I don't like to villainize, like I said, any food, in moderation, some things. But what I'll do is the messaging that I used to tell myself, or that sometimes I tell myself, is that get it all out now.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that makes sense.
So that is where the binge comes in. You see how the binge
you give yourself license. So this is where you can fully let go.
Yes.
Even if it's too much. So it's just like, don't think about it. Like,
it's like check every box.
Yeah. You really
and because I know, okay, I don't want to eat bad things, but what I will do many times is overeat good things.
Overeating good things is so tough.
Yes,
so
overeat the good things.
I'll be like, well, I mean, I'll eat the whole, like, okay, because when you were saying, like, for example, my thing was like, because I can't have that much sweets, right? So finding ways to have sweets to give me that little, is nice. So whipped cream, right? I can eat the whole bottle because that's too much. I get it, but
it's a little. It's like
but I'm gonna do it on some blueberries. Okay, I'm gonna do it on some grapes. I'm gonna do it on some strawberries.
Add it up,
and then I'm gonna put out this. I'm like, oh, it's only like 2 grams of sugar, and I'm gonna add it. But I'm eating. You didn't have to eat the whole bottle. Like, it's
exactly.
That's where
Yeah, it's the moderation it needs to be in, or you have to take a look at the messaging. So what I have to be mindful of is the messaging that I was giving myself is that get it all in, because you're going to go back to your regular lifestyle after today. And if you've already had the cake or you've already done the thing, then check every box of whatever else you wanted to do. It's got to go down today. Because tomorrow you're not going to do this again because you know how you operate. So that pushes a binge.
Yeah, it does.
Because so
you're just like, that is.
You're right. You got to be careful of what messaging. So now I have to mind myself that, okay, if you are going to do this thing, you can do this. You don't have to. It's FOMO. If I don't hit every craving I think I might have. FOMO, fear of missing out. If I don't hit every craving I think I might have, then it's a chance I'll do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I only want to be done today. So I make sure I have to go salt, sweet. I have to check every box to get it out of the way. Fat, salt, sweet. Everything, I have to get that out the way now so I don't do that the next day. So what I then have to is tell myself, like I talk about alternative thoughts. I have to tell myself some different things like, have this. Listen to your body, and we don't necessarily have to carry this on until tomorrow, until the next day. And if, say, for example, you do want something or have to hit that mark the next day, then you pick something that can be like, I can pick a salty thing that's in line or a sweet thing. I can hit that. I know how to hit that craving without putting something in my body that would be detrimental.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's interesting for me. It's like, I can go one thing, and I think I told you this, which is crazy, but I was like, I could just go without eating because I like I just could not, and I realized it's unhealthy. I don't want to get like an eating disorder or anything. So I'm like, okay, I gotta eat. For me, the best thing is like having something prepared. Like I'll be lazy and that's what makes me eat random stuff. Yeah. Because I'm just not, I don't have something ready in the mornings. Like if I have a casserole and I have whatever, some other stuff, I'm going to do fine. Right. If I have to have the basic things. I realized like sometimes like one thing I saw that was a line for me, I was like, ooh, that's scary, is just the not eating. I'm just being like, okay, I don't have to, I'm good. Like I'll have to eat this, which is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm,
and this is why I'm like, no, babe, no. And especially if I'm
intentional fasting, yes,
but like fasting just to, So I think that's when I realized, I'm like, yeah, I probably should fast less. But I think the other thing too is like having foods prepared, knowing what I'm gonna eat, and knowing that knowing the places I could go if I do want to go out to eat. Like, okay, where can you go to eat? Pick up something that's like decent. And I realized also to me for snacking, because I do like a snack and I like volume. So I'd rather get something. What can I get with a lot of volume? Because I know that's not for everyone, but like, because like a little bar is not gonna do it for me. I don't think.
Yeah.
I want something that I can eat a lot of, so I can feel better. But I need a lot of something that's okay, like popcorn or something that I'm like, I want to be able to eat a lot of it.
Right. So it's like I don't want to have this one little thing. Some people may say, okay, I can have this little,
and they're happy. Like I'll have a piece of cake and it's good. I want volume, like because I'm hungry and I just I'm gonna want. Okay, here's what we're about to do. Like, let's go all in, or I need a bigger. I don't know.
No, I get it. I mean, I think one of my habits or things that I do is a large salad. I try to do a large salad every day that has, and I call it the kitchen sink salad. Because it has so many different things in it. You know, it's got the protein, it's got fat, it's got carbs, it's got everything in it, but it's got a variety of things in it.
Okay.
And so I love eating that large salad. I'm satiated, it keeps me full, it's full of fiber, and it has the fat and the protein and everything that's going to keep me kind of full. But it does fit the volume, because again, I'm a first plate, second plate, third plate girl, that's still in the background of how I grew up or what the thing was. It's kind of still there.
You still want something like I need, for me, my next thing is finding a bread alternative, like. And so like I saw this girl do this like cottage cheese egg thing for a bread thing. Like I need it because like I just need a bread alternative.
Oh, there's tons of bread alternatives. Like they have the cottage egg. You can make just like we made the almond flour mud cake. You can make almond flour bread.
And I did make a what was it? A bagel like that. It was either yogurt or cottage cheese and something, and it was simple. And it was delicious. And I'm like, I want the feeling. I'm sorry. I know people don't like that. Sometimes like, I'm not going to have the thing. But it's like sometimes when people are eating a sandwich,
it's like, and you don't have to say that has to be wiped off the table for me forever. You can say what's an alternative. We don't have to make the thing harder than it has to be.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. It was just like I realized how hard, like that has been because I really do love bread. I really do. I'm like, it's so good to eat it. I'm not gonna lie, that was delicious.
If you then restrict it and say I can't even have anything that resembles bread, or I take that all off the table, you actually become more food focused and fixated than you need to be, and that's going to be problematic.
Which is hard, exactly. And so that's what I realized. I'm like, okay, I need a bread alternative because I do want to have sandwiches. I do want to cook my own things that like have like my own version of bread in it.
I always say the fewer ingredients, the better.
Yeah.
Be able to know what the thing is that what the ingredients are. If you can't pronounce, let alone have the ingredients on there,
that's why
I'm gonna say it's the thing you should be.
Yeah, I think,
and that's all that we're really advocating is that people start to be mindful of what you eat. Just even start with that basic step of, okay, what is this that I'm eating? I had a class at Synergy Works where we went over macros. And, I'd see some of the members later. It was at a party later and they had their plates. And they're like, oh, Coach Dana, don't look at my plate. Don't look at my plate. And I'm like, hey, I want you to just be able to tell me what's on that plate.
That's fair.
So if you can identify for me, what's the fat, what's the protein, what's the carb, we're winning. Don't hide the plate from me. Tell me what's on it.
Tell me what's on the plate.
And that's what's important to me, that what's on there.